I didn't even want to go live tonight. I didn't want to go live. That's me working on my alternative side. All right, let's have this conversation because I'm seeing this, and I am, first of all, welcome to CNN. Kirk Kennedy, let's go in. In this channel, we take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. It's Ephesians 5. All right, let's have this conversation. Y'all know, I do. Hopefully y'all click on. If y'all don't, I get it. The algorithm may put this out there, it may not. But let me talk. This is what I'm seeing. And first of all, if you've been watching the channel, if you joined the channel, if you are a recent subscriber to the channel, I just start beating on my chest because people will be like, "Oh, he looks like a gorilla." See, black people are. I don't want that. No. So I had to switch it up. But listen, here's the thing. Caitlin Clark fans, which I am one of them. I'm one. I think she's a baller. I've made that very clear. Caitlin Clark fans, though, I want to warn us. Don't do what Angel Reese fans have done to Angel Reese. All right? We got to be careful. And when I say, and I hate making it sound like that, it's not a us versus them, right? This is sports. You just like the way they play. There's this whole, us versus them, Angel Reese fans. I'm a fan of both. I just think one's better than the other. And one's more exciting. Caitlin Clark is more exciting to me, right? I think Angel Reese is fine. I'm a fan of a lot of these women in the WNBA. To my shame, I should have been watching them earlier. They've been balling. They got handled. They got all. They play. You know what the WNBA does better than the NBA? I think is a WNBA understands like passing, spreading the floor. There are actually some pretty good 3-point shooters. Man, I've watched some games. I'm like, oh, that's bottoms. Boop, boop, boop. I think they understand fundamentals a little bit more because they can't rely on athleticism in the way the NBA can. When you're 6'8" and you can jump out the gym, you can rely on athleticism. You don't even got to be that. You can rely on your dribbling. But in the WNBA, don't get me wrong, they're athletic and they're good, but they can't. You don't see people dunking over people, do drop step, boom, like you don't see that, right? So they rely more on getting the ball around, cutting, and all that type of stuff. So in one sense, it can be more physical, seem like it can be because they have to do that type of stuff. Where in the NBA, the guys, they rely on athleticism sometimes, don't play no D, they just do other things, right? So I've enjoyed watching the WNBA, but I've been noticing, and I've been on this kick, I've been making a lot of more videos about Caitlin Clark this week than I ever have been. Shouts to y'all who subscribe to the channel, I appreciate that. And shouts to y'all who said like, man, I bang with your perspective, I appreciate that. But let me tell you something, Angel Reese fans, us, we are in danger of doing what Caitlin Clark fans are in danger of doing what Angel Reese fans did to Angel Reese. And this is not a smite. There is no us against them. There's nothing wrong with Angel. There is no Angel Reese fans versus Caitlin. That's just dumb. Everything's political. The left versus the right. The elephant versus the donkey. Like, well, I'm a buzzard. All right? I'm not an elephant or donkey. But here's a problem, though. I'm seeing this everywhere. I'm seeing this all, at least on my algorithm. You know how Skynet really is in control of the algorithm for real. We'll find that out soon enough. You're going to say I'm prophetic. I'm out here off the Isaiah and Malachi with it. But here's the danger. Here's what I'm saying. People are now, so again, Rookie of the Year, I get it. I think it's a wrap. That's over. Rhodey, it's over. There's no more conversation. There is no Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark. There is no. There's Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, two individuals, but not verse. There's no such thing. This isn't Bird versus Magic. Maybe it'll get to that point. Maybe. But a lot more. I think Angel Reese's game has to develop more to be able, because they play two different positions. It's like, why is, even though Kobe and Shaq at one point didn't get along with each other because they were former teammates. But you're not going to put Kobe and Shaq together. I'm not saying that Angel Reese is Shaq, by the way, but she's mentored by him, so I'm making that comparison. They're two different players, two different positions. They're never going to guard each other except in a moment. It's just unrealistic, right? So there is no such thing. But what I'm noticing is in the excitement of Caitlin Clark, because we were there for the 1-8 start, and all the people just, I told you she can't cut it. She's not going to do it. She's a wash. And all of a sudden we see her washing folks, right? She went from, and we're enjoying it. But the thing is, what Caitlin Clark fans are doing now is what Angel Reese fans. Here's the problem. Angel Reese fans started saying that she's Rookie of the Year and that her double doubles are as important to the game as what Caitlin Clark's double doubles are. And it's just not the same. And everyone sees that, and we get it. We get it, right? 11 points and 10 rebounds is great, but 20 points and 12 assists is better. It's just reality. But they did it, and they propped this up in such a way that they got people actually thinking that one of these two are, and then you go on last night, you watch the game, and you see just a clear difference. And so in many ways, Angel Reese fans are somewhat to blame for this reality because they weren't, you can be a fan of a person. Like, I'm a fan, but I'm also realistic. You got to be realistic. I am a Washington Commanders fan. I'm a season ticket holder, but I'm also realistic. I'm not the fan that thinks every preseason we're winning a Super Bowl. I go to the game skeptical. I go to church on Sunday. I might be preaching on Sunday. I go to church. I'm tired. The stadium where the Redskins play, Commanders, is 10 minutes from my church. So I get out of there. I'm gone. I pray for people real quick. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Pray. May the Lord bless you. And I'm gone to the game. I'm joking, but I'm not. So then I go to the game and I'm sitting there. And then, by the end of the third quarter, I'm looking at my man. I'm like, hey, man, you ready to go? We can dip. We're going to lose this game. Sometimes it's like that. I'm realistic. Angel Reese fans were not realistic. And that's why a lot of this happened. They weren't realistic. This happens all the time. Remember when Kanye West started calling himself a genius? This dude, Kanye West, he called himself, if you watch his documentary on Netflix, I think it's called Genius, but it's spelled like JHEENYUS or something, genius. It's like he was calling himself a genius, and then eventually people started calling Kanye West a genius. I was thinking, I don't think Kanye West is a genius. I think he can make some beats and he can rap a little bit, but he's not a genius. And now nobody's calling Kanye West a genius because he wasn't. So people started acting like Angel Reese, because she won a championship 2 years ago, is on par, but there's levels. You can be how many times have we seen people be phenomenal in college and can't make it in the professional ranks? It's just a different ballgame. I'm not saying Angel Reese can't. I'm just saying she's not the same, right? But what they did was they propped her up so much that all of a sudden there's this faux Rookie of the Year debate when people who are objective, I think, to some degree, can say, no, I think Caitlin Clark probably is better. And it's objective only in, you don't break that many records, all of that, right? She's breaking records almost every game, fam. Every game almost. It seems like it. If she's not breaking records, it just seems like she's about to break another record. It's like, golly, this girl is like a walking Guinness book. This girl's like the female Guinness. They're going to start calling her Caitlin Guinness Clark out this joint, right? Remember where you heard that first? Caitlin Guinness. They're going to call it the logo. I get it. Caitlin the logo club, but Caitlin Guinness. Remember where you heard that first? Right here at Kirk Kennedy's corner, you and I, all right? But they propped Angel Reese up. Well, Caitlin Clark fans are in danger of doing the same thing. So now we're talking about MVP, right? Which I think is a realistic claim. It's realistic. Yes, A'ja Wilson is the perennial all-star of the league and probably going to win the MVP. But it's not a far-fetch to think that Caitlin Clark can win it. It's not at this point. Now, we don't know how they got, 8 more games? They play tomorrow against Dallas. They need to redeem that Dallas win because they lost to Dallas before the Olympic break. And Enrique Ungwale was cooking. She was cooking them. So they need to redeem that loss. But if they do that, that's 4 in a row for them. They are balling right now. But here's the problem with Caitlin Clark fans. Now, I'm seeing this everywhere. Can Caitlin Clark win the championship? Can she win the championship? As a rookie. Can she? Sure. Can my sons get to be 6'10"? Sure. Is it going to happen? Not likely. Now, could Caitlin Clark win? Yes. But I think you have to be careful as a Caitlin Clark fan when you start saying, I think she's going to win it. Now you're going to see a lot of shows, especially as they keep winning games. First of all, their record is a little softer than it was when they came in. All right? But we'll get to that in a second. But I'm starting to see this pop up in videos. She can win a chip. And start people saying, I think she's going to win it. And even in my comment section, people are talking like that. It could happen. I could win the lottery, and then I would redo my whole channel and get more cameras and really tighten it up, right? That could happen. But we have to be careful not to do what Angel Reese fans did and play, because we're enjoying watching her play. We're enjoying the run. I love that LeBron yesterday tweeted Caitlin Clark, "Hi haters." All the people that didn't like that told LeBron shut up and dribble, and now like, yeah, LeBron. Man, people, I tell you what, man, you can't, on social media, you can't trust no loyalties, man. People will turn on you like they playing Ring Around the Rosie. They'll just turn on you quick. You don't know. You'll have some followers and 70 people will be like, I ain't following this dude no more. I don't like that he said Tuesday. Oh, it is what it is, right? But it was funny that he did that. And he's saying high haters because he recognized one right now, presumably the greatest basketball player in this generation recognizes this is all hate stuff. But here's the problem. With Caitlin Clark, when you start talking about the WNBA championship, I think a lot of people are speaking as fans of her, but not really thinking about the actual game of basketball and what the playoffs mean, what that really is. It's easy to say, oh, like, yeah, she can win it because she's just fun to watch. They look unstoppable right now. And so that's easy. But I think we're going to do what Angel Reese fans did and just set ourselves up for a possible disappointment. Because think about it. There are people who don't like Caitlin Clark, and they don't like people who like Caitlin Clark. And so the more we pump up Caitlin Clark, and if she doesn't meet those expectations, all those people are like, see, I told you, we should chill out. And let me give you a couple reasons why. Let me tell you why right now, Caitlin Clark fans should not be leading the conversation in can she win a chip, the championship as a rookie? Can she win a chip? Here's the first reason why. Their schedule was pretty soft going out, all right? So they started off really strong. They played New York Liberty 3 times, Connecticut 3 times, Seattle 3 times, the Las Vegas Aces. I mean, they played the top teams like first. They were just getting crushed. And now they're playing the teams that are under 500. Or there's a couple games here and there, I think. But for the most part, their last 8 games is not what we would call in the sports world a strong schedule. So you're going into the playoffs maybe on a high, but you're not playing the best players, the best teams right now, right? So they may bump up to maybe even, they're 6th seed right now, they may bump up to a 5th seed. But their schedule on the back end, right before the playoffs, is soft. One of the things about college basketball is like they have a conference championship, a conference tournament, and that tournament sets you up for the NCAA tournament. And you might play. You're going to play teams but you're going to play the tougher teams in your conference, because sometimes not every conference team makes it to conference championship, the tournament. So there's no tune-up. Like if they're playing the Mystics and the teams that are 7-20, whatever it is, they're not playing the most competitive games, the most competitive players in the league as they're going into the playoffs. Now, the good thing is they will have chemistry, they will have confidence and a rhythm, and you want that going into the playoffs. But the playoffs is a totally different monster. All right, and let's get to that. Let me tell you why. The second reason why Caitlin Clark fans have to be careful that we don't do what I think Angel Reese fans did by propping her up and expecting her. This isn't any smite to her. I think Caitlin's amazing. I think you know that if you watch the channel. I love her. I think you know it. Love watching her play. But we have to be careful for the second reason. Let's look at this real quick. Check this out. All right, the playoffs, and this is what I think. So when you watch a basketball game and you think like, oh man, she just smacked Chicago Sky by 20-something points. And that's true, she did. But that's a one game. That's a one game rooster, right? That's a one game burger. Here's what happens. Let me tell you why the NCAA tournament is so amazing. Because you only have to play a team once. And in one game, in one shining moment, in one game, a 16th seed can have better chemistry than a 1 seed. And we've seen it. All of our brackets got destroyed this tournament this year. I was like, you got to be kidding me. 16 seed beat a 1 seed. This stuff was like never happened. 15 seeds beat 2 seeds, right? The reason why is because when you're playing just one game, you can be incredible in just that one game, But when you're playing a team a few times, things change. So here's the playoff schedule. The first round is best out of 3. You're going to play this team 3 times. All right. So you might have an incredible game, the first game, but the second game, they've watched some tape. They've practiced against what you've done and all this stuff. And they might be ready the second game more. When you're playing in the regular season, it's one and done. You win a game, you move on, you go to the next team. And and it's a whole new scheme, all new players, everything. But when you're in the playoffs, when you're in this kind of playoffs, again, the NCAA tournament is amazing because it's just one game. You win one, you advance. You lose, you go home, right? But in the professional ranks, particularly in basketball, you got to play a team more than once. So you might have punched them in the face the first game, but you might have woke a sleeping giant for the next 2 games. And so you get the first round, you get best of 3 series, right? But then when you get to the semifinals and the championship, now you're talking about playing a best of 5. You got to win 3 of 5 games, 3 of those 5 games, playing the exact same team. It's one thing to play 5, like if Caitlin Clark and them win tomorrow against Dallas, they've played 4 or 5 times? They played Atlanta, Connecticut, Chicago. So 4 times in 7 days, but they're totally different teams. But when you're playing the same team, it's a different mental game. It's different. It's a different chess game when you're playing someone for the first time. But the best of series, you might have won that first game. You might have won that second game, but it's not one and done. You got to beat this same team a couple of times, and it's hard to beat a team a few times in a row. It's hard. And I think as fans, because we love basketball, we love watching it play, we just think, oh, she's so good, I think she can win a chip. But we have to think about, well, the playoffs are a different monster. Only the best teams get in it, of the league, 8 out of the 12. But then each time you advance, you're playing a better team. Because here's the thing. When you're playing in a tournament where you're playing the same team multiple times, normally, the better team, the higher seed is going to win. Normally. In a one-off, anyone can win. A 16 seed can be the 1 seed. But when's the last time you saw, okay, let me correct that. Miami 2 years ago had a good run in the NBA playoffs. They went to the chip and they were an 8th seed, I think. I think Miami was ranked low and they got to the chip. So that was an anomaly though. Normally you don't see the lower seeds advance in a best of series because the higher seeds, they understand how to study film and lock in and play. It's not just one game. This is what they do. We gotta lock this in. We gotta stop this. You play tougher, you play harder. And Caitlin Clark and them, because people don't want them to win, they don't want her to win a chip her rookie year. Let's be honest. Because that's going to prove some things, and people aren't going to hear the end of it. So they're going to play tough. You talk about guarding her. She hasn't been getting guarded. She has not been getting guarded cover to cover like she was earlier. But when the playoffs start, they're going to pick her up full court. You best believe it. And let's be clear, Caitlin's improved a lot, but she still gets a little intimidated when the defender's like right there. She'll get that. Sometimes when she's going full speed, she knows how to she might go blow past you. But if you stop them and make them run a half court offense, which everyone's going to do, if you're in the WNBA and you're watching them play, the key to stopping them is making them run half court. The reason why they're blowing teams out is because they're running. You can score and they're running a fast break when you score. You're jogging back down on defense and you see Caitlin Clark going for layup. You're like, what? Or Kelsey Mitchell going like what? It's catching people off guard. But by the time they get to the playoffs, everyone's going to know what they're doing. It's going to be different. So when you get to a best of series, it's a different ball game. And people start figuring you out a little bit. They start figuring out how to coach you. 2, Christy Sides is improving as a coach, but she's not a great coach yet. She makes some bonehead decisions. I'm not saying she's a bonehead. Well, we all have skeletons, so we're all boneheads on one level. But sometimes you just think, huh? Like if you know anything about the sport, like why would you call a timeout? Why'd you make that substitution? Now maybe the player's tired, I get it, but she's growing. There are other players, coaches that are better than her. All right. Another reason, back to the comment of first, the soft schedule, they haven't played the New York Liberty in a while. It ain't just the Indiana Fever getting better. The New York Liberty is playing tougher. The Las Vegas Aces are actually going down a little bit, but they're going to be they're back-to-back champions. Champions know how to they're going to make the playoffs. So champions know how to lock in, right? It's a different ball game. They know what it takes to win. Indiana Fever hasn't been in the playoffs in 8 years. So they're just satisfied with getting there. And this is the other thing, because they just want to get to the playoffs, that in their minds might psychologically affect them. I don't think anyone on that team is realistically thinking they're going to win a chip. They're excited to get back to the playoffs, and sometimes that is the WNBA championship for you. Sometimes you ever heard the term "don't play to lose, play to win"? It can happen. You can play to lose and not play, but when you play to win, you're going to take more risk and such and such. Indiana is so excited just to get back to the playoffs. They're not even thinking beyond that. But Vegas is thinking beyond that because they won it. New York is thinking beyond that because they won it. They know what it takes. So you got to be careful if you're going to prop them up. And the third and final reason why I think you have to be careful is also because of this right here. Here's the other reason, right? So only two rookies have won the Rookie of the Year and then won the championship, right? Only two. So you got Cheryl Ford in 2003, won NBA Rookie of the Year and the WNBA championship with the Detroit Shock in her rookie season. And then Maya Moore, who just got honored the other night for being like an incredible basketball player, also achieved the rare feat of winning both the WNBA Rookie of the Year award and winning NBA championship with the Minnesota Lynx in her first year in the league. These two players stand out as the only ones that have accomplished winning both the Rookie of the Year and championship in the same season, right? Now it could be there's more, but it highlighted these two. Okay, so whether there's more or not, here's the reality. Not many people as a rookie win the championship in their professional year. That's almost in no sports. That's a rare occasion. It happens sometimes. It happens. Don't hit me in the chest like, look, this person, I'm not saying it never happens. I'm saying it is not normal for a rookie to win the championship their first year unless they're on a team full of vets that they just kind of got the benefit from people who've been playing the game longer. It's unlikely that'll happen. The Indiana Fever are too young. Let's just be clear that a lot of those players are not good players. They're decent, but there's an engine. They got chemistry and it looks good. They're running, and it looks good. But when you get to the playoffs, it's like your bench has to know what they're doing. You can't go that deep on the bench after you get Damaris in there and a couple players. You're not pulling. I mean, honestly, you're not pulling but 7 deep in on that team. They're a young team. You don't have the mental toughness, and you haven't been in the playoffs yet. And if you play, I mean, on that team, they haven't been since 2016. So because it's very difficult to do it, they're not going to play they may play the New York Liberty again, but they're not going to be playing the strongest teams. The teams that have playoff experience, they're not playing this last stretch of games. So they're going to win a lot of these games, but they're going to go in playing. So I mean, if you're a heavyweight champ and you're fighting super middleweight, okay, you might be crushing them folks. But then you got a heavyweight fight, and this dude hits a lot harder than the super middleweights. So again, I'm a Caitlin Clark fan. Love it. I think she's fun to watch. I hope that they go. It'd be fun to watch them go all the way. I think it would like the WNBA on fire. I think, to be honest with you, I think there's so much turmoil over this woman that if they win the WNBA, it might divide the country like Trump and Biden did in 2020. I mean, listen, because I like her, but and I make videos about her, of course, because you all like hearing her being talked about. And so I'm going to make videos. But there's an idolatry of Caitlin Clark, too. Like, let's calm down. Like, she's a 22-year-old girl. Let's calm down. Like, she's good and it's fun, but let's calm down. I'm not going to argue and be all upset about what people say about Caitlin Clark. She's not my daughter. You know what I mean? She's not my wife. She's not my girl. Let's calm down. There's a lot of idolatry out there, too. Let's be honest. But I think for these reasons, what Caitlin Clark fans should not do is start talking about her winning the chip and almost saying it's inevitable because of that. Now you may say, I don't see anybody doing it. Please don't do that. Please don't say, well, I don't see anyone doing that. Let me tell you why you shouldn't say that. Because you don't know enough people. There's billions of people in the world. So if I'm saying it, it's only because I saw it on my feed. Now, it may not be on your feed, but it's on my feed. People say, I don't know anyone who, does anyone know anyone who thinks, so you know all the people in the world? Well, Jesus, tell us get out of here. No one knows everyone, right? We don't know. What we do know is that it's fun watching Caitlin Clark play. She's amazing. There is no Rookie of the Year. And I'm sorry, I don't think there's a race. The only race issue is the race of who's going to win the Rookie of the Year. I don't think there's a race issue. For some people, it's going to always be that. But I think the reality is what Angel Reese fans did is I think they did her a disservice. Because I think because some people made it a race issue, they thought black girls rock. Remember when Cheryl Reeves wore that at the game when they played Minnesota and Caitlin Clark and then beat them? Black girls rock. Older white woman. It's like, we know black girls rock. Black boys rock. Asian boys rock. Asian girls rock. Who cares? Like I don't need nobody to make me feel self-esteem on no t-shirt, right? It is what it is. And maybe because I'm a believer, I have faith in Jesus Christ, and I don't need that. I don't need those markers. So my identity is not rooted in what you think of me as a black man or even as a YouTuber, ultimately. So, but I just think like because of that, it became about liking the person and their race more than objectively looking at their talent. And I think it's just dumb. So what Angel Reese fans did was they made it, I'm an Angel Reese fan, but it wasn't because she was better. It was because black girls rock and it's a race thing and we're not going to give in. We're tired of people giving it. And for the rest of us, it was like, look, man, this is a distraction. Caitlin Clark is a wonderful distraction. That's what sports is, right? Sports is supposed to distract us from some of the drama. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Movies. And we do these things because they distract us. I don't want to think about how much my grocery bill is and all that stuff. So I want to watch sports for that. So when you bring that into my sports, I'm like, no, I'm not trying to hear that. No, you're going to get this. I don't want to hear that. We just want to watch sports and have fun with it and that be that. Stop taking it serious. It's not that serious. It's idolatry. Let's not do that. But let's also be careful. She could win but let's just enjoy how she's playing right now. Let's enjoy watching her play. Let's enjoy these women playing. Not just Caitlin Clark, let's enjoy. Because she's making other people have to step their games up. They're fighting hard. Let's enjoy that and not make it about, okay, she's going to, because I think if we set her up like that, and that's the talk, and everyone's like, yeah, and then she doesn't win, man, everyone's going to throw pie in your face. They're going to pile on like, I told you she's not good enough. She couldn't win in college. She didn't win in the pros. And all we're going to say is, yeah, it's her rookie season, though, fam. She's still, I'm not pointing at the scoreboard like, well, she beat the Chicago Sky. No, I played enough sports. I may not look like I played basketball, but I played. I was good at basketball. I know the game. I understand it, what it takes to win. And I understand that when you're playing multiple teams, a team multiple times, anything happens. And usually the more skilled, the better coached team, anyone can win one game. David beat Goliath with a stone. You know how many you know how many soldiers that were trained better than David lost to Goliath? This is why Goliath was out there like yelling like, I defy the gods of Israel. Look, Saul was supposed to be the dude, and Saul was in his tent like a chump. And David was listening to this like, man, who is this dude that defy this little dude, David? They gave him some armor. He said, man, I can't put that on, man. He said, let me just wear this. He rode down there, ran at the dude with a smooth stone and a slingshot. Boom! Slid right into his head. That can happen on a one-off, right? But in a tournament, in a multiple games, the better coach team, the team that's been there, that understands what it takes, is probably going to win. And I think we could see Las Vegas Aces running the Indiana Fever, and we're all hyped, and we see them get swept, lose 3 games in a row, and then we're going to be, Caitlin Clark is not what we thought. No, don't elevate her high. Let's just enjoy how she's playing right now, and see what happens. And if she's in the WNBA finals, then okay, we say let's get it. Especially if it's they won 2, the other team won 2, and it's the last game. That's a different ball game. That's different. But right now, nah, fam. I don't think that should even be a conversation, because I think that's what hurt Angel Reese, and now people are seeing it for what it is. So, let's go to the tape. Looks like there's a million comments over here. Let's see what's popping. Let's get it. I ain't gonna be able to hit all these because this y'all are insane. Just follow Caitlin's lead and focus on the game. Well said. Well said, JP. You never hear Caitlin talking about it. Well, JP, 100%. That's what you know what? That's people don't realize this. That's part of why we like her. Because she may be competitive and may do stuff on the court, but that we expect that, right? It's basketball. We expect it. These girls are knocking her down, setting hard picks, doing all this stuff. She's yelling at the refs. That's basketball. We have tolerance for that. We have it. But she's not doing all the other stuff, and I think that's what makes her even more likable. She's not saying like, well, they need to be glad that if it wasn't for me, we wouldn't be getting these flights. And I'm the one that's bringing in all the people to the state. This girl's not dumb. She knows that. Why do you think she's like this in the stadium, at an away stadium? Because she knows there are people that love her, and it's been her whole career. She's used to it, so it's nothing to her. She's not tripping. But so I think that's why we like her. It's all of that. From Morocco, you are amazing. Morocco, thank you. Zachariah, appreciate that. That's crazy. Thank you so much. These are not Caitlin Clark fans. Those are bots. People have to check the accounts. You might be right now. I forget sometimes the era we live in. This is the bot era. I feel you. These WNBA players try to be victims using hate from bots to try to slander CC fans. Yeah, that's wrong. A lot of those Caitlin Clark fans are like dads and moms with their kids, man. To call that's just wrong, bro. That's just wrong. Caitlin Clark is. I feel that. That's a great. Hadassah, that's a great Jason Kidd with some Steph Curry. That is a great combination right there. I like that a lot. I'm a fan. Also, I like Cece. There's things I don't agree what she does on the court, and that's basically it. Yeah, I mean, she has some attitude. Let's be clear. Because we want to be honest, right? I think she's arrogant. And I think some of what she says and does, some of the players react to that. I think she's arrogant. She knows Caitlin Clark. She says the right things in the press conference, but she knows that she knows who she is. So I think I see what you're saying there. I can see that. Hail to the Redskins. I'm only calling them the Commanders to be politically correct. They're going to be the Redskins for me. I don't call them Commanders. Only on YouTube right now. I always call them the Redskins, man. I'm sorry. You didn't make any of the other sports teams, the Braves, you didn't make, and now granted, Redskins is somewhat of a derogatory name, and we were coming out of an era where anything that was derogatory was like, we got to go after. But it was more about Dan Snyder, our former owner, who was terrible. So that's what it was, I think. It's a free way to support the channel. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Hit thumbs up. Thank you. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you, man. I'm glad you're a reasonable fan. Root for your favorite, but at the end of the day, they're playing a game, period. Well, 100%, bro. It's a game, fam. Like, I enjoy it. I'm having fun, but it's a game, bro. I think people are wilding right now. It's just idolatry. It's like, whoa, calm down. I love watching Caitlin Clark play, but, man, my life isn't going to be, like, all upset if they lose or whatever. It's like, all right, People, but you all like hearing me talk about it, so I'm going to talk about it. Why wouldn't I, right? It's obvious that CC moment reminds me of how Jordan changed the game for basketball to be like 100%. 100%. Richard is always that. Richard saying that I coined that phrase, hate Kate Gate. That's what it's been. THCG, the hate Kate Gate. Is when we look back on this, when they do a documentary on her rookie season, it's going to be called Hate Kate Gate. And they better find me as the one who coined that phrase. All right? No, I'm kidding. Who cares what I think? Thank you that some of you do. CC fans should say whatever they want, whenever they want, unapologetically. I disagree. But you're okay, Bob Jones, you agree. Your name still kind of bothers me a little bit, if I'm being honest, Bob Jones. I couldn't hang with you, Bob, because I couldn't even go to the college that your name is from. But that's a different conversation. Yeah, you can say whatever you want. It's America in one sense. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying, I just don't think we're talking about wisdom, Bob. We're talking about wisdom. What's wisdom? Like, let's say it when it looks like it's possible. Right now, that's what Angel Reese fans have done, and now they're all sucking their thumbs. And they didn't have to. Exactly, Emmanuel. Plus, these kids are just out of college. Yeah. Asia Wilson will undoubtedly win. I think right now, I would have said up until recently, I need to see the season finish. I would right now, that's what I would say. Asia Wilson should get it. But I need to see the season, though. I need to see the season finish. Because, and here, let me tell you why. It's not that Asia Wilson is not better than Caitlin Clark as a player, right? I think she still is. Caitlin Clark's a rookie. I think the reason why I would say I'm not as big on Asia Wilson versus Caitlin right now is because the Las Vegas Aces have a stacked squad, bro. Like, they got some players that are ball. I mean, their point guard, they call her a point guard. I have a problem with that poison unless you're pointing at God. But they had you got Kelsey Plum, you got Hazelwood, you got some players on that team, and they're back-to-back champions. So for Asia Wilson to be averaging what she's averaging, it's good. But Caitlin Clark took a team and turned them into a household name, and not just because. And I said this before, and I hope this makes sense. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but I don't think the vast majority of people like Caitlin Clark because she's pretty, and I'm so glad for that. Because if she were, then that's what everyone would say. That's why you like her. Because remember when Sunny Hostin tried to say pretty privilege? You know why that narrative didn't go anywhere? Because I don't think Caitlin Clark's average looking good. That's not why you watch her. I'm sure she's pretty to her boyfriend, and that's fine. Beauty's an eye beholder. That's fine. There's some people that think I'm attractive, and some people that be like, ugh. It's just life, right? Who cares? But like, it's not because she's pretty. It's because she balls. She's an average looking girl. I love that. But I think because of what she's done, not in the league, just with her team. I'm not even talking about the global impact right now. I'm talking about, I think right now I'm wondering if Caitlin Clark should legitimately be in that MVP. All that popping up of Reese hurt Angel, and Angel went along with it, comparing herself to Caitlin. Wasn't fair to Caitlin, but wasn't to Angel herself because can ball, but Caitlin defeated. 100%. I agree, man. I agree. I don't know any CT fans that think she will be MVP. Yeah, Gary, see, I would. This is what I'm saying. When people say that type of stuff, and I know you're just saying what you're seeing, Gary. I would say there are people who think that. I mean, there are YouTube videos. I can give you the links to YouTube videos that are questioning, that are saying the MVP race is now between those two. I think there are people saying that. We are happy they are winning, but no championship. Maybe next year. But if she wins MVP, then they will kill her. Protect Caitlin Clark at all costs, right? I'm a CC fan and I can't stand people trying to put her on MVP. 100%. She's a rookie. Yeah, thank you, Ivan. Thank you. Like, just let her. I just like watching her play. I don't want to give any. I'm giving her flowers, but I'm not giving her a crown. I'm giving her flowers. I'm not giving her a crown. When she earns the crown, I will acknowledge the crown, but I'm going to give her flowers. There's a difference between giving her a crown. There are people trying to give her a crown, and I get it, but I just don't think it's necessary. I think you're right. Maybe the following year, maybe media is doing this and people will swallow it. 100%. Because we're the entertainment capital of the world. We're amusing ourselves to death. This is all we wait for. We love to. I mean, how often do you spend on YouTube just waiting to find? You know what I mean? It's just we're amusement centered, oriented people. And Caitlin Clark is amusing. Will you make a video on Trump? 100%. That's probably going to come out no later than Monday. Oh, I got a video for that, Richard. I got a video for that. That's coming out Monday, brother. Caitlin is a rare type of player, fearless, talented, gifted. 100%. I would agree with that. Spinks, I would agree. Reach is a leech. I don't know who Reach is, but I know what you said. Yeah, I'm not going to slant, brother. I don't. You don't know her, so I don't like to call someone a leech. That's easy to do, right? Because you don't know. But when you call someone like something like that a leech, that's basically a character issue, right? And to know what someone's character is, to really say she's a leech, you would have to know the motives of her heart, and you don't even know who she is. You can't text her; she would never. So I think I'm not. I put your comment up, sure, but I don't agree with that. She's a leech, unless I see more. I think she's deceived at best. I think she won a championship. She's a confident basketball player. She wants the attention, like everyone does. Everyone does. I mean, my YouTube channel has been growing the last couple of days because of these videos, and I'm grateful. Who doesn't? There are times I watch people's videos and think, wow, this person is like not even exciting to watch, and they got 3 times as many viewers, subscribers as me. What am I doing wrong? You know, who doesn't want to be that? No one fantasizes about third place. So I don't think Angel Reese should be like, oh, I'm not the best. I think that's fine. I don't think she's that. Please don't like. They supremely hate her because they can't play the game, can't stop her. Hate that her game is what the audience wants. I don't know if they can't stop her. I don't know if they, don't like. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Gary, I like you, Gary. We talk a lot. I think the way you phrase things comes more of a judgmental perspective. I think you could be because you're a sharp dude, Gary. You made some comments, and I think you could be a little bit more objective. I don't know because now you're attributing motives and stuff. We just don't know these people. Like, we're talking about sports, man. Sports is not like a friendly thing. Like, we're competitors, man. We're not supposed to like each other on the court. Like Anthony Edwards is saying stuff that's making other players mad. It's like, it's just like, it's sports, man. I'm not saying they're all enemies, but like, we shouldn't act like, I just don't know people's motives. And I think we have to be careful of that. But it does make for good conversation. I get it. Don't think the Fever are going to win it all, but their other team, no one wants to see it. Hey, Spinks the Cat, 100%. You do not want to see them in the first round, fam. You do not want to see Indiana Fever in the first round. Not maybe last year, maybe 2 years ago, but this year, whew, you do not want to see them. It's a 50-50 chance of CC going to a championship game. It's not her fault that teams below her are crappy. Let's be honest. But I'm not saying she's going to win a championship this year. I don't even think it's 50-50. I don't think it's, but you're entitled to your own opinion. That's what this is for. I don't think it's 50-50. I would love to see her win it. I would love to see her win it just because it would be a crazy moment in culture, especially for all the people. Like, she didn't win an NCAA championship, as if like that's the only thing that matters about you being a great player. Do you know how many NBA players didn't win an NBA championship and are still? You look at the 100 greatest players. I bet you more than 2/3 of them probably didn't win an NBA championship. They were still good. That stuff is just all crazy to me. So but I don't think it's a 50-50. That's a pretty bold. It's 50-50 when there's two teams up. There's too many teams up. I'm rooting for Kate. Yeah, I see you. It would be fun. She has already met my expectations by doing an Iowa, and if she can finish the season without getting hurt, but the bitter thugs, I'll be happy. Yeah, I hope she doesn't get hurt either, because I think they'll regret it. If she gets hurt, I think they're going to be like, oh, what have we done? Because I think the ratings are going to drop in many ways, and people are going to be, it's just like that. Indiana's a great team, but they need more seasoning before they are ready to contend for a chip. You might be right. I mean, I would more say that. Like, again, Michael, this is my thing. I'm going to give her flowers. I'm not giving her a crown. That's how I am. I'm giving her flowers. I'm giving Kelsey Mitchell her flowers. I'm giving the team their flowers. They have become, largely because of Caitlin Clark, a household name, and that's it. But I'm not going to give her a crown. We got aces back-to-back coming up. Test run. That's Bones, 420. That's what I'm talking about. I want to see that game. Dallas tomorrow. Dallas is like the last team in the league. Arike Ungwale is ridiculous with it, but Kelsey Mitchell's defense she's gotten a lot of confidence since the All-Star game, and they were on the same team. And now these people kind of like each other, so now it's more of a competitive, friendly rivalry than it is like I really hate you and I'm going to try to hurt you. So they should beat Dallas, but that's what I want to see. I want to see them play if they beat the Las Vegas Aces, I'm going to make a different video, fam. CC leads the entire league in self-created unassisted three-point shots. She's near the bottom, and she is near the bottom in assisted shots. Yeah, brother. What they say, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. As a new fan, I've been watching the other teams, and there was a lot of talent. Yeah, 100%, bro. Hey, Gary, I tell you, I'm the same way. I didn't really watch them until I watched a little here and there, maybe some highlights. Like, oh, that was a serious crossover. But when I started watching this, I was like, oh, some of these women can ball, man. They can shoot. They got handle. They just hey, listen. CC creates her own open shots. Her teammates pass the ball back to her more with the expectation that she will set them up for another high percentage. Yeah, maybe. That's what people are saying, but I think it's changing. I think they're changing that reality. So I don't know if that's still the same. I think initially people were just trying to not let her get all the limelight. But now that they're winning, I think there's a chemistry there where they just know they care, they like each other. They're like, you got to think about it. People act like because they're women are catty. Remember that? Women will tell you women are catty. Women are not like friendly initially. They're standoffish towards each other. So when you come into the league, it's like, man, I'm not trying to be buddies with her. This is a business. Like, they're not like men. We're a little bit more. We just don't trip. We're a little bit more superficial. We're not we're not as emotional. So we're like, we might get offended. We're like, I'm not gonna just do show me up. But the women were at the beginning. They were like, Kelsey Mitchell was like, look, I ain't letting her. I've been on this team for years. I ain't. But now you can see the chemistry is building. So hopefully it works out. And first of all, why are people talking about playoffs? The season's not even over yet. That's what I'm. But this is what I mean. Give her flowers, but don't give her a crown, fam. The playoffs and pay attention. What happens in the season, the games they got left? If they start thinking about the playoffs, they might end up losing, end up dropping back to 8th place or something. No, don't do that. CC is the humble the wig dude, so jealous, sad. Glory, I hear you. Agree on the half court, not their game. Lynx, that's exactly my point, Gary. That's exactly my point. Lynx are a better team, and Lynx knew to beat them, we have to make them run a half court because Caitlin Clark is not as great in the half court. Listen, and people get offended. They act like she doesn't have flaws. She has a lot of flaws, fam. If you watch her play in the half court, she will pass the ball. She doesn't run to the other side to swing around. She will stay right there. It's like, Caitlin, move over a little bit. It's like she passes the ball and she'll stand right beside him and then maybe want the ball back. It's like, no, she doesn't run. She is terrible off the ball. She does not know how to get off the ball. She knows how to pass the people off the ball. She's terrible off the ball. It's a rare occasion you see her run through the lane, come up and spot up. No, they pass it to her. They may dribble in and make the defense collapse and they kick it back to her and then she shoots the three. She has a lot of flaws, man. She has room to grow. The problem with the Indiana Fever winning the championship is they're one of the worst defenses. Thank you. And that part, that's what I'm getting at. Like, when you say they're going to win it, you're only thinking about how much you enjoy watching Caitlin Clark play. That is not a basketball statement. That's an entertainment statement. That's a, man, she makes me happy watching her play statement. That's not, I understand. I'm not saying you don't understand basketball. It's a wishful thinking statement because their defense is growing. But again, let's see how they do when they play the Aces. If we get to the fifth, Aces fall to the sixth. We have home court advantage, and we only lost one game at home. Aces will lose against us. See, here's the thing about that. And this is just a pet peeve of mine, so this isn't anything personal against you straight balling. I just think all of this stuff, everyone can. You ever had somebody like, yeah, are you that person that does this? When something happens, you're like, oh, I knew that was going to happen. I knew it. Like, everyone says that when it happens, but all the, can she win it? Will she win it? It's all predictions, and we all like have the Nostradamus syndrome. We want to know the future. We care what's going to happen. We want to know, and it's like it's just you don't know if that's going to happen. You have no idea, straight balling, if even with home court advantage, just because they only lost one game at home, the playoffs is a different monster. They lost one game at home playing one team and then the new team, but when you play the same team. I don't know if you played ball. I played high competitive. I played in a semi-pro basketball league. Semi-pro basketball league. I was in a competitive league where we went 30-0, 2 15-0 seasons. It was tough. A semi-pro league. Like, it's hard, brother. It's like, so I think that's looking at the record and thinking, well, that's like saying someone in my other video said, hey, well, Kennedy Carter, if they were there, she averages 20 points a game. And it's like, oh, okay, so you think if Kennedy Carter had played last night, that they would have won because she averages 20. Here's what I mean about, you have to understand basketball. If Kennedy Carter would have played last night, that means she would have taken shots that she may or may not have missed. Other players then wouldn't have been able to take those shots. So I forgot the girl's name who was cooking in the first quarter. She had like 12 first quarter. If Kennedy Carter would have took those shots and made her miss, this other girl wouldn't have. She wouldn't have had the confidence and wouldn't have got high. So it's not like, oh, just insert Kennedy Carter's 20. No, that would have changed the dynamic of the game because other players would have more looked to her, and then they wouldn't have taken their shots. They may not have been. Again, these kinds of statements are more about entertainment than they are about understanding. The fans in me are definitely setting her up for. I think so. I think if they keep saying she's going to win, I think so. Don't play not to play 100%. 100%. I used to coach basketball. I couldn't stand it. I had to tell my players, look, you're playing not to lose. Don't let the clock play defense for us. Our feet play defense. Our minds play defense. Don't keep looking at the clock hoping it's going to get to 4 zeros. No, you give it all you got until you hear that buzzer indicate the 4 0. We are now at 4 zeros. It happens all the time, man. This is what teams used to do. This is why Tom Brady and certain players were even Patrick Mahomes, they're good because, like, they understand, like, we're playing to win. Forget, like, Tom Brady was like, nah, we up by 3 touchdowns, but we going to keep going. They used to make people mad because he would score 2 more touchdowns when they were already up. It's like, no, we don't play not to lose. And I think that's what happens. CC is an anomaly. 100%, brother. 100%. Caitlin Clark's about to be the third player to do it. All right, we'll see. That would be amazing. I would love it. I'm not against it. I'm just saying I'm not giving her a crown, but I'll give her flowers. Mitchell is a beast and Caitlin Fees 100%. She is a beast. CC is different. 100%. I am not one of these fans you're describing. Just give me a few more hour games. I hear you, and I'm not saying it's you, Gary. The world is a big place, my brother. So when I talk about these things, I'm talking about what I'm seeing. I'm not naming names because I'm not saying there's anyone that's there. I don't, it's just the reality. I see it, so I say it. Fever are the underdogs. I still think so, and they should be. They should stay that way. You are the opposite of an inspiring person. Cool, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Wow. That's cool. I mean, I'm not offended in social media, man. What do you expect me to do? Hey, brother, your comments are such a balm to my soul. And come on, man, it's YouTube, man. I'm just trying to speak facts here and just trying to be and just passionate with it. And you got to be up and entertaining. Don't take it personal, man. I'm not. I'm not supposed to say, hey, your comment was incredible. I disagreed with it, just like you disagree with mine. That's fine. I think you're a great person. You're a great comment creator. You're a great comment creator, Bones 420. As a matter of fact, I even agree with one of your comments that said it. So anyway, whatever. Fever just playing back-to-back against the Aces before. I can't wait to see that. That's what I want to see. That'll tell us what's really going on, right? In the 70s, the number one star, Jimmy Connors, beat Vitas Gerulaitis 16 straight games in a row. Vitas finally won the 17th. He said afterwards, no one beats Vitas Gerulaitis. That right there is a quote. I like that. That's funny. It's going to take them 2 to 3 years to win it all. Maybe a new. You know what, George? That's what I think. Now, it could happen this year. Sure. I could win the lottery this year, even though I don't play the lottery. But I think that's more realistic because all of these players have played regular season games. And you know what? But there's a different mental toughness, especially after the first. They might win the first round. But when you get to that semifinal round, it's a different ball game. Now you're playing the better teams. Now you're playing against the Aces, maybe the two-time champions who know what it takes to win. They know how to dig deep and win. When Steph Curry won his last championship 2 years ago, he said that it was his fourth one, and he said it was probably his most rewarding championship. And he said because we had a lot of injuries, no one thought we could do this. But we believed in ourselves and we know what it takes to win. We know what it takes to win. And they beat Boston. Boston was a phenomenal young player, but they didn't know what it takes there's a mental edge. There's a way that you think when you're in that, when you've won a championship and you know what you got to do that. And you don't know what you have to do that until you win it. Now, so I think when Steph Curry said it, he made a great point. I think that the Indiana Fever, they're exciting to watch. Caitlin Clark's a phenom. But when you get to the playoffs, now you got to know how to think. And I don't think they're there yet. They're not there yet. This is probably why I think they didn't win in college, because they know how to play, but you got to know how to think when you're in that championship game. It's a different ballgame. Crazier things have happened in sports. You never know. 100%. Yeah, I'm not saying they won't win. I'm just saying I'm giving her, I think Caitlin Clark fans shouldn't do it. So that's what I'm saying. They put in race before basketball. I agree with that. 100%. I agree with that. Being compared to CC screwed up Reese's head. I think so. Let me tell you that. I think that. Reese is a role player who thinks her role is much bigger than it really is. I don't know if she's a role player. Bro. It depends on your definition of role player. I think she's a star. I think she has potential to be good and better. I mean, look, just think about this. Think about this for a second. Even if you call it stat padding, what's going to happen when she starts making those? So let's just say you agree that she was stat padding and a lot of her rebounds were her own misses. Let's just say that that's true. And there has been video evidence to show that. Let's just say that that's true, right? At some point, though, next year, those rebounds she's going to left because they're going to start scoring. She's going to start making those baskets. She's going to learn. Right now, she's so pressed to prove that she's as good as Caitlin that I think you're right. It screwed up her head. I think she's playing. So everything was about, let me get this double-double. Let me get it. And that's what messed up. I think that's what's messing up the team, if I'm being honest. Now, again, I don't know. Who am I? What do I know for real? At least not about that. I just think that's what messed up the team. She was so pressed to prove that she's as good as Caitlin, but once she doesn't get Rookie of the Year and life goes on and the year goes on and they work in the off season, she's going to start learning, what do I got to do? What are the moves that are my strengths when my back is? I've played against these women before. I know what their instincts are down low. What moves do I need to develop to know? Because this is what people don't realize. Sometimes they do these wild shots because they don't know where they are in reference to the basket. But that's where you're supposed to take a quick glance down the court. Look at the other basket. They line up exactly. They line up. Wherever you are, you can look and see, okay, I'm on this side, the basket's right here. So I'm not saying she doesn't know these things. I'm just saying I think she's going to get better, and she's not going to then she's not going to be getting them with rebounds as much because she's going to start making those, and then it's going to be a different ball game. But what do I know though, right? What do I know though? Let's keep it. Let me see. David was him. 100%. 100%. Whether or not Age is a better player, CC's more. I agree with that 100%. But I think that's just standard because you know what? I don't think people like the post players are not as exciting anymore. The era of Shaq and a big player down low and they're just not as exciting anymore. So now you'll see the players that are like they're supposed to be post players shooting threes. I mean, you got Karl Anthony Thompson winning 3-point contest. He's 6'10". You got the Jokic from the pushing the ball up the court and doing things. He's still down low some, but like that. So the NBA sets the tone for the WNBA. It's a guards flashy 3-point league now. Sure, we still get excited when we see a good dunk. Of course, we're just gonna get up for that. But or even an alley-oop, we're just still like oh. But it's a 3-point league, and so are the WNBA. So the post-player game is not really what people care about as much. No one's looking for Dennis Rodman anymore. And so Asia Wilson, what she called race, sure there may be some who think you're a black woman, but I think the large part of it is you're talking about do people appreciate you're a center, you play down low. That's just not the most exciting position. When Shaquille O'Neal it was an exciting position. When you had Olajuwon and Patrick Ewing and Alonzo Mourning and all these people, but slowly we've just moved away from that. And so those rebounds and all that, yeah, it mattered some years ago. And it's funny because she showed up, Angel Reese, with a Dennis Rodman jersey on. You get the you know it, yeah. You're Dennis Rodman. You're 10 points, 11 rebounds. You're Dennis Rodman, and he was a character more than he was an amazing player. He was good at what he did, and so she has to get better than what she's doing. Don't be a character, Angel Reese. Get better. Learn how to average 20. Get 20 and 10. Get that double-double. That'd be impressive. All right, let me scroll through some of these because it's getting late. And I want to go see my kids. They're out there probably waiting for me. Isn't that why people seem to be on the AR wagon? Is her looks? I think that's some of it. I think Angel Reese is an attractive woman. I think there are people who, I think so. I think that's some of it. I think even Lexi Hall. I don't think Lexi Hall's that good of a player. People, would they call her sexy Lexi? Yeah, because she's attractive. And so that's it. And she's, the quintessential American blonde hair, blue eye. Is that she's okay as a player, but she's been hitting some clutch shots and her confidence is growing because her friendship with Caitlin Clark seems to be. But at the end of the day, pretty privilege is a reality. When you're attractive, people will give you the benefit of the doubt in ways that they don't. You got to be phenomenal when you're not attractive. MVP should be given to the player that gives the most value to the league, not just 100%. Mark, well said. Best comment of the day. Mark, you have won the comment of the day, man. Yeah, the media trying to push Angel Reese rookie, and you're right, CC nowhere near MVP. It's still Asia. I think it's still Asia, man. I'm with you, Caleb. Now, let me say this. In these last, if these last 8 games, when they play the Vegas twice, let's say Caitlin drops 30 on them twice, and they end up beating them. My perspective is going to change. My perspective is going to change. CC is GOP 3 MVP statistically and otherwise. I can see. Okay, I see that. I see that. Caitlin might be MVP conversation, but not going to win MVP this year for sure. She will win multiple MVP. I think that's real. I think that's real. Kurt, you've called me out. I'm not sure what you mean, Gary. Hopefully I ain't offend you, brother. We just talking. It's just banter. I know that I'm not the most inspiring, but it's just banter, man. It's YouTube. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm a believer. I'm a Christian, and I'm trying to be, but I'm just having fun. I'm just talking. I don't know. Jesus flipped over tables, and he was still loving and gracious. I don't know if I have to always be like, oh, well, thank you for your comment. And, you're a comment creator. I'm a content creator. I get it. It's fun. It's good banter. I'm sorry. I didn't comment on this. Rike doesn't shoot well from 2-point. No, she doesn't shoot well from 2-point. I think she psychologically can't make a 2. All right. The Fever is going to win the championship. Timmy will lead the way by her defense. Guy, I appreciate you, brother, but I think that's totally not true. I think she hasn't proven to be a good defensive player. I don't know what it is. She's okay, but she's not as good. She's not as valuable to the team as I think we thought she was when they were 1-8 and needed some spark. Now that they're doing a lot of this without her. So I don't think I agree with that. I need to see her, or maybe you just are watching. Maybe you're a better view of defense to me. I'm not seeing it yet, but I'm gonna be paying attention to. I need to see it. I agree. I agree. Media hype pushing that. CC herself worried about her team, not a war. Yep. CC. She said. Remember in the recent press conference, she said if you're worried about individual accolades and not your team, then you're just doing basketball wrong. I totally agree with that. I want to know why Ohio not voiced loud when Mitchell was in college, where it should start. Yeah, I agree. I see the Lynx winning this year. That's not a bad prediction, Noah. That's not a bad prediction. The Fever could make it to the finals. It's not a bad prediction. I don't want Las Vegas to win again because I like to see freshness. I don't want to see them win 3 in a row. I want to see someone else come in. I don't want to see New York Liberty either. They've won. It would be interesting. I'd like to see Minnesota. I mean, I don't know how recently they won. Truth be told, I haven't followed it that much. Michael Jordan had a lot of flaws. 100%, fam. A lot of flaws as rookie year. Shoot the lights have a lot of flaws. All right, man. I got to get out of here. There's a lot more comments, man. I wish I could get to you. Any team can win 50-50. Okay. Well, I think, that's just not, you can only go 50-50 when it's 2 teams, right? If there's more than 2 teams, statistically, 50-50 doesn't work. But what do I know? Same stats, how Clarks are better than Parkers overall, and there is no Asia on the super team, but all things considered, in fact, CC gets MVP over Asia. Okay. I can see that. Twin, the WNBA is changing as we speak. Notice the difference. Yeah, I can see that. What about this to consider? Some teams with Olympians will be tired. They didn't get a break like the Fever did. Maybe they won't have the legs on the plows. That's a good point. But I think, so this is what I think. I think if you're a team that's won the chip, like if you're New York or Las Vegas, I think there's it's a mental game. The physical aspect is part of it, but it's a mental game. You're going to play against Indiana, who's just glad to be in the playoffs. Like, honestly, okay, so they showed a clip of Indiana Fever. They showed a clip of them celebrating being in 6th place in 16-16, and the ladies were all, and it was really cool to watch. It was fun to watch. But what I thought, as someone who used to play and coach, I thought, man, it looks like they're just satisfied with getting to the playoffs, which on one level they should be. But that they could end up just being like, well, hey, we accomplished our goal for the season, and really not. I've seen it happen. We've all seen 16 seeds beat a 1 seed. Statistically speaking, most people on a 16 seed team are not as good, they weren't as recruited. Some of them didn't even get recruited, and are lucky to be playing against a number 1 team who probably most of that team were in the top 5 in the high school. They probably played the McDonald's All-American game. But a 16 seed can be the 1 seed. It can happen, right, in 1 game. But it's just different. And I think Indiana Fever, even though they're balling right now, they're mentally the 16th seed. They haven't even been to the playoffs in 8 years. I think that's going to actually hurt them more than it will encourage them. All right, I got to wrap this up, but I can't go without highlighting this. Noah Linden. Thank you, my dude. Being objective and measure, unbiased. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, because I know I'm not inspiring, But I appreciate that, man. It was YouTube. We just trying to have fun and talk. I don't even have to go through these comments, to be honest with you. This makes my videos way longer, and people feel like I'm not watching an hour video when more than half of it is me doing this. It's not even me just talking. So I do this just out of the love, because you guys have taken the time to watch me, so I'll do this and go through the comment section. I might not even get a lot of likes on this video or watches because it's too long. This attention span makes us not watch. But this is fun. Most people don't do this. Most content creators don't. So I want to do it. It's good. All right. I got to get out of here. I'm just looking at these. There's some good comments, but I just can't hit all of them. Kurt, you didn't offend. You called away. Super cool. My man, Gary, I appreciate you, bro. Timmy has plus 18 and plus 29 last 2 games. Plus 18 what? Points? Timmy Fag Benley? That's what you talking about? She had 18 points and 29 in the last 2 games? I don't think so. You talking about minutes or points? I'm not sure what you mean. Are those rebounds? I'm not sure what those aren't accurate stats for what I've seen. But maybe, I don't drink, but maybe I had a drink that day. I didn't see none of that in the games that I saw. But I mean, I could be wrong. You might be. If you have objective stats, guy, let me know. I didn't see that. 18 points and 29 points in the last 2 games? Fag Bentley? I didn't see that at all. But maybe I wasn't, I don't know. Maybe I dozed off or something. All right, let's go, Mark. Let's go here. Indiana taking it one game at a time at 100%, and that's how Caitlin Clark fans should take it. One game at a time. One game at a time. Bob Paranoid, get a man a like. Thank you, sir. No content creators will go through the comments on a live like this and do that, but I enjoy doing it. Thank you, Bob. Like and subscribe to the channel. Holla at your boy. Look, tomorrow Dallas plays. I got other. Look, I do other content. I do other content than Caitlin Clark, but I enjoy it. You all enjoy it, so I keep doing it. I have other content, of course. I'm a Christian. I talk about things of the faith. I talk about politics. There's no. I live in the world. I'm not of the world, but I'm in it. I'll talk about anything. But you all like these videos, and so I appreciate it. But give me a like. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow after the game, and maybe after the game for sure. All right, grace and peace.